I anledning af BlizzCon, der har vores egen Tobias ligget søvnløs for at følge med i de mange nyheder. Og det har faktisk lykkedes ham at lande et lille interview med en af udviklerne bag WoW Classic. Det kommer her.
It's been a labor of love for quite some time now. Shortly after WoW Classic released, we saw the community asking for Burning Crusade Classic, and so the team set up what we call reference clients, which is the original code from Burning Crusade. And we converted almost 750,000 rows of data and more to modernize the code. And it's been an ongoing effort. A lot of engineers lovingly, faithfully recreating Burning Crusade Classic for our release this year. We got to a point where we were really excited. We had our new build of Burning Crusade Classic, and the team, we all got together to do a play test. We logged in, the Dark portal didn't work, so that was a bummer. And then we moved on into creating characters. The Blood Elves had a bit of an issue. They had no clothes on, so we fixed that. That's not a feature. And so we moved on, and it's a day-by-day process. So in this grand, massive conversion of updating everything for Burning Crusade Classic, we run into some issues, but the engineers really quickly tackle all the issues, and we keep moving forward to make sure we have a really high quality release with Burning Crusade Classic.
Yeah, really what we saw when we launched WoW Classic was the outpouring of love and engagement with that game. And when we started looking at what the community was asking for, what they wanted, what they thought was best to come next, we heard loud and clear Burning Crusade was what they wanted. So we made the decision after we saw how successful that was that let's do this. Let's give the community what they want. They wanted Classic, we gave it to them. They want Burning Crusade. Let's do that now. Yeah, I mean, it's something we discuss. There's always ideas about what we should do and where we should take the game going forward. I think our guiding light has always been what do the people that are playing it want? What are they interested in? And that's how we came to the decision to do Burning Crusade. So, I'm excited to get this out here, really focused on that. But if we have another moment where the community has a request and they're speaking in unison like they did before, we'll address that and think about if that's the right next step.
Just like it always has been, it's an ongoing process. So we keep a very close eye on the community and the feedback and how people are playing out of the gate, as it were. We're not going to be focused on sweeping changes on balance.
The other thing is that, Burning Crusade itself went through a series of balance patches throughout its time. And we feel like we ended up in a pretty good place at the very end. And that's the talents, the abilities, the systems that we'll be using throughout the entirety of Burning Crusade. In terms of just to address the two things you brought up, like Seal of Blood, that feels like an equalizer. That's not necessarily like a balance thing. And with spell batching, really what we're finding there is it's not making players necessarily more powerful. It's just making the game feel more crisp. So we're not trying to make necessarily balance changes going through here. Some things we do may inadvertently affect it, but ultimately we're trying to be thoughtful about how we're handling these changes to make sure that we're being true and authentic to the experience of Burning Crusade. So this is a topic that comes up from time to time internally. When we look at the data and the facts and how healthy and large the player base is, what we found when we released WoW Classic, because we had this concern there too, is that what we ended up with was two extremely healthy and large player bases with Modern WoW and Classic WoW. And that was super encouraging. And what we're seeing now is we're going to be ending up with two large and healthy player bases with Burning Crusade and WoW Classic. So it's something we look at to make sure we're not going to do harm to the community, but we've discovered that that's just not the case here. We're excited to have two vibrant and thriving communities for Classic Era and Burning Crusade.
So let's say, for example, I have a level 60 hunter. We'll call her Holly. And let's say I have a level 30 who's Hollia. So when I log in, and I'm on Wormrest Accord, so I will log in at pre-patch. So this is ahead of the Dark Portal opening. And I will go into the server I always go on. I will get an option for each character I select. Do I want to move on into Burning Crusade Classic, or do I want to select that character to play in Classic Era? If I choose Burning Crusade Classic, I click the button, I'm off and running, nothing changes. It's same guild, same friends list, everything. So on my level 30, who I determine I'm going to continue that character in Classic Era because I want to play with my friends, I will select that character. I'll get the same option. I'll select Classic Era. Then I'll go to the Battle.net app, and then I'll install Classic Era. When I log in, I'll log into Wormrest Accord, and I'll see Hollia there waiting for me to play. And then at some point, if I decide, I want to play my level 30 on both.
For guilds, what we're doing is we wanted to make it as easy as possible for people going to Burning Crusade, because we feel that the community as a whole is much more interested in that. So what you're going to see for guilds is that nothing will have changed for those of you going to Burning Crusade. Your guilds will be there. Your friends will all be there. Every social structure, it's exactly like it was back in 2007 when we added Burning Crusade to WoW Classic. So you'll see that experience for those people. For those that are opting to go to Classic Era, we do believe that community will be slightly smaller, and we want to make sure that the servers that they go to are going to be healthy population wise. So the server Holly is on, for example, will go to a specific realm. Like everybody on that realm will go to the new realm, but so will some other realms. So she'll be joined by other people from other realms going there. It's a challenge to preserve guild integrity when doing that. So there may be a moment where you have to reform a guild, but overall you'll be going there with the same people, the same friends, the same social structures that you once had, if they also opt to go to Classic Era also.
Yeah, we will. And we know there has been in the past some controversy about it, but the goal is we want people to play together. If you want to get in and play the game, we want to provide every tool and technology for players to be able to do that. And of course, just as we did with Classic, as things settle and stabilize, we'll look at removing that, but at least to get us in, everyone to be able to experience that epic moment of being at the Dark Portal, we'll use that technology if we have to.
I know right now we're focused on Burning Crusade and getting Burning Crusade out to players. As for what comes next, we'll get there the same way we got here. We listened to the community. They said they want a Burning Crusade. We're going to give it to them. If the community says they want Lich King, and honestly, I've heard a lot of that feedback already. That's something we'll have to start talking about. But we really need to finish what we're working on first before we take that next step and talk about what's coming next. But given how often that's come up, that's certainly an interesting thought and one we'll consider. So the next step for us really is the beta, right? Like that's what we're focused on right now, is getting that beta up and running. That's just around the corner. It's not, you're not going to have to wait super long for that. But the beta is such an important period for us because it allows us to work with the community to get feedback on some changes that Holly's been talking about. So we can make sure that we're hitting the mark to give people a great launch experience. Once we get that out and we look at the feedback and how much work we have remaining, then we'll start to talk about a more concrete date for Burning Crusade launch itself.
I'm a content completionist, so I'm excited. I will create another Blood Elf and another Draenei, and we're bringing them. They'll be available when we pre-patch, so there'll be early access to Blood Elf and Draenei. So I will be in there trying to level up as quickly as I can. And then, of course, seeing, even when we were doing our playtest, seeing the Fell Reaver for the first time was a really epic moment after crossing through the Dark Portal, and just exploring the world all over again. I'm really looking forward to it.
I don't know why it just triggered this memory, but I remember fighting Lady Vosh. We were working on her progressing through the fight. We had wiped 41 times. And 42nd time, I'll spoil it already, it was our kill. And we got it on that try. And what I remember is beforehand, we were doing our ready checks, getting ready. And I'm the raid leader. And on our voice comms, one of our paladin healers comes over, and you can hear this like burr, burr in the background. He's like, okay, look, the fire alarm's going off in my dorms. We got to pull now. And I'm like, dude, just get out. We'll figure this out later. He's like, no, seriously, pull now. Do it now. Pull. And I'm like, okay, we're pulling, go. And we went, and that ended up being the kill. And at the end, he's like, cool, got to go by. And he was fine. Everything was fine. It was just a drill. But it was just one of those things where it's like, man, people were so just engaged in this game and content so much that wow, it just brings back those memories. I don't think I can recreate, or not. I'm sure I want to recreate that memory.
No,
but it certainly is something that I cherish and still remember to this day.